The Rebel Alliance's destruction of the Death Star was a stunning victory, but it only fueled the Empire's wrath. Darth Vader, relentless and vengeful, led the hunt for the hidden Rebel base and the young pilot responsible. The Imperial fleet scoured the galaxy, deploying thousands of probe droids to every remote system. One probe landed on the icy, desolate world of Hoth, detecting a suspicious energy signature. Images and data streamed back to Vader, confirming the presence of a hidden installation. Vader recognized the signature, a Rebel shield generator. The Empire had found its prey. Without hesitation, Vader ordered his fleet to Hoth, preparing for a full-scale assault. The cold, silent search was over. The Empire's fury was about to descend on the unsuspecting rebels. The time for hiding had ended. The icy plains of Hoth would soon become a battlefield. The rebels' greatest challenge was about to begin. The Empire was coming, and this time there would be no escape. The stage was set for a desperate fight for survival. Echo Base, carved deep into Hoth's ice, was the Rebel Alliance's new sanctuary. The planet's brutal cold and roaming wampas made life perilous, but it kept the Empire at bay. Luke Skywalker, now a commander, patrolled the snowy wastes on his Tauntaun, investigating a supposed meteorite. Suddenly, a wampa attacked, dragging Luke to its lair. Hanging upside down, Luke used the Force to retrieve his lightsaber and escape. Injured and lost in the blizzard, Luke collapsed in the snow. As he faded, the spirit of Obi-Wan Kenobi appeared, urging him to seek Jedi Master Yoda on Dagobah. Obi-Wan's message was clear. Luke's destiny lay beyond Hoth. The vision vanished, leaving Luke alone in the deadly cold. The struggle for survival was not just against the Empire, but the planet itself. Every moment on Hoth was a test of endurance and hope. The rebels' sanctuary was fragile and danger was closing in. Luke's journey as a Jedi was only beginning. The fate of the rebellion would soon hang in the balance. Han Solo braved the blizzard to rescue Luke, saving his friend's life with quick thinking and courage. The next morning, both were found and returned to Echo Base, where Luke recovered and remembered Obi-Wan's call to Dagobah. Luke knew his path was changing. He had to become a Jedi. Before he could leave, alarms blared. The Empire had found them. Imperial AT walkers advanced on Echo Base, forcing a desperate evacuation. Luke postponed his journey, taking command of Rogue Squadron to defend the retreat. The snowspeeders were outmatched, but the rebels' courage bought precious time. Luke led a daring attack, using tow cables to trip a walker and inspire hope. Amid chaos, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, and C-3PO raced to the Millennium Falcon, pursued by Imperial troops. Luke's snowspeeder was shot down, but he survived and escaped to his X-Wing. As the last transports fled, Luke set a new course, not to the fleet, but to Dagobah. The battle for Hoth was lost, but the fight for the future had just begun. The rebellion scattered, but hope endured. Luke's journey to become a Jedi was underway. The Empire's shadow loomed larger than ever. The galaxy's fate would soon rest on the choices of a few heroes. The war was far from over. The next chapter would be written in the swamps of Dagobah. The rebellion's spirit remained unbroken. The Battle of Hoth erupted as Imperial walkers crushed rebel defenses. The shield generator fell, forcing a full evacuation. Luke and Rogue Squadron fought valiantly, tripping a walker and buying time. Inside the base, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, and C-3PO raced to the Falcon, escaping just as Vader arrived. The Millennium Falcon blasted off, TIE fighters in pursuit. Luke, downed but alive, reached his X-Wing and left Hoth behind. Instead of rejoining the fleet, he set course for Dagobah, guided by Obi-Wan's vision. The rebels scattered, but their fight continued. The Empire had struck hard, but the heroes survived. The next battles would be fought far from the ice. The fate of the galaxy was still undecided. The rebellion's hope endured. The Millennium Falcon's escape was anything but safe. With the hyperdrive broken and star destroyers closing in, Han Solo steered into a deadly asteroid field. Dodging tumbling rocks, Han's piloting kept them alive, while tension and romance simmered between him and Leia. Chewbacca and C-3PO added chaos and comic relief as the Falcon became a family under fire. The Empire, relentless, sent bounty hunters led by Boba Fett to track them. Hiding inside a giant asteroid, the crew discovered their cave was a space slug's mouth and barely escaped. Han's next trick attached the Falcon to a star destroyer, then float away with the garbage. The ruse worked. the Empire lost their trail. Han set course for Cloud City, seeking help from his old friend, Lando Calrissian. The chase was far from over. The Falcon's crew was running out of options. The Empire's grip was tightening. Every move was a gamble for survival. The next stop could mean salvation or betrayal. The galaxy's most wanted were heading into the unknown. Luke and R2-D2 crash-landed on Dagobah, a misty, creature-filled swamp. Frustrated and doubting, Luke met a strange, mischievous creature, Yoda in disguise. Yoda tested Luke's patience, revealing his true identity only after Obi-Wan's spirit intervened. Reluctantly, Yoda agreed to train Luke, warning of his impatience and anger. Luke's training was grueling, running, levitating rocks, and facing his fears in a dark cave. In a vision, Luke fought Vader and saw his own face in the mask, a warning of his potential for darkness. The greatest lesson was belief. When Luke failed to lift his X-Wing from the swamp, Yoda effortlessly did it, teaching, "Size matters not." Luke's disbelief was his greatest obstacle. Yoda's wisdom was simple, "That is why you fail." Luke's training was incomplete, but time was running out. The Force was strong in him, but so were his doubts. The future was clouded and danger was near. Luke's journey was about more than power, it was about faith. The true test was yet to come. The fate of his friends and the galaxy would soon call him away. The swamp world had changed him, but his greatest challenges lay ahead. The path of a Jedi was never easy. Han, Leia, Chewbacca, and C-3PO arrived at Cloud City, greeted by Lando Calrissian's charm and promises of safety. Leia sensed danger beneath the city's polished surface. Her instincts proved right. Lando had betrayed them to Darth Vader and Boba Fett. The Empire arrived first, forcing Lando's hand to protect his city. Vader's true goal: use the rebels as bait to lure Luke. Han was tortured, not for information, but to send pain through the Force. Leia watched helplessly as Han was led to the carbon-freezing chamber. In a final moment, Leia confessed her love. Han replied, "I know." Han was frozen in carbonite and handed to Boba Fett. Lando, realizing his mistake, decided to help Leia and Chewbacca escape. The city's beauty masked betrayal and heartbreak. The Empire's trap was closing. The hero's fate hung by a thread. Trust was shattered and hope was fading. The next move would decide everything. The darkness was closing in. On Dagobah, Luke sensed his friend's suffering and rushed to Cloud City, ignoring Yoda and Obi-Wan's warnings. He walked into Vader's trap, facing the Dark Lord in a brutal duel. Vader overpowered Luke, driving him back and ultimately severing his hand. Cornered and defeated, Luke refused to join Vader. Then came the shocking truth. "No, I am your father." Luke's world shattered. His enemy was his own father. Overwhelmed, Luke chose to fall into the abyss, rather than join the dark side. The duel was over, but the scars ran deep. The truth changed everything. Luke's greatest test was not of strength, but of spirit. The line between hope and despair had never been thinner. The future was uncertain. The rebellion's fate was tied to Luke's choices. The Empire's power seemed absolute, but the will to resist endured. The story was far from over. Luke survived his fall, reaching out to Leia through the Force. Aboard the Falcon, Leia sensed his plea and ordered Lando to turn back. They rescued Luke from the brink, but the Falcon's hyperdrive still failed. Vader's fleet closed in, and Vader reached out to Luke, tempting him to join. R2-D2, reassembled by Chewbacca, fixed the hyperdrive just in time. The Falcon escaped into hyperspace, leaving the Empire behind. The heroes regrouped with the rebel fleet. Luke received a new hand, but the emotional wounds lingered. Leia comforted him as they gazed into the stars, their bond stronger than ever. Lando and Chewbacca prepared to search for Han, vowing to rescue their friend. The rebellion had suffered, but hope remained. The fight was not over. The search for Han had begun. The Empire had struck back, but the spirit of the heroes was unbroken. The galaxy's fate still rested in their hands.